guys, it's Jared from Van City Conversions. Beautiful rainy day out here. We got some sun. Let's film this tour. It's a 2025 all-wheel drive 3500 dually. This is a sweet rig. It's a big rig, and you'll probably notice this layout's familiar. We did it again, made some minor changes to what we thought would benefit the client, and we hope they're happy. They pick it up tomorrow morning, and yeah, let's get started. Let's get into it. Starting with the exterior of this van, believe it or not, it is pretty basic when it comes to exteriors. I'm sure they'll be adding things as they go and figure out what they want. Clients actually dropped it off doing this sweet kind of Line X Raptor liner all along the exterior bottom panels here, and actually spots in the interior by the steps. Everything suspension wise is factory, other than we did add the Van Compass Opti rates. So 3500 dually is going to be able to handle the weight a bit better, but still to get rid of that rear sag, the Opti rates are amazing. When it comes up to the roof, there's actually quite a lot going on up there. We have the Flatline Van Company, a standard roof rack, with the Fiamma F45S awning. Air conditioning, we have the Pneumatic Cooling X2 Plus. We have the trusty Max Air fan. We have a Max Air Dome fan for the shower. And this is the first time you guys are seeing it. We're behind a few builds for posting wise, but this has a full custom solar array, 653 watts to be exactly. We fit that on the roof with still having a AC Max Air fan and a Starlink and still some space. So that worked out well. Oh, WeBoost 4-camera security system. The roof has a lot going on. All right, on the back here, just touching again, you can see up there the WeBoost, which is on a arm that you can adjust, throw it up. You don't want that all the way up in the air. It adds like 2 feet while you're driving. And that's quick and easily accessible by the Owl Van's ladder tire carrier. So that we actually took up their spare wheel well tire carrier for their gray water tank. So their spare tires mounted on the back here. They also have a ladder, some extra diesel here, and then you have the absolute biggest box ever made, which is the Owl Van's Alpine box. The only thing they still have to add is shelves, kind of decide how they're going to lay it out. That is a sweet box. That's a cool feature. All right, before entering this van, you'll see there's a lot going on, probably not a traditional layout you're used to. Loads of seating area, loads of storage. You got the Happy Jack bed system, so the bed is raised to the ceiling at the moment. Starting with right before you enter, you have the amazing roll-off screens. This one was a challenge for a few reasons. You actually have the entrance on the left side. We still wanted to be able to access behind here, behind the seat, and it's an electronic sliding door, so you have a handle, a remote here. If this ever has to be serviced, we wanted access to it. And you have this big box here, which is essentially just a bench seat, but we thought it was handy to have storage in the front, storage in the lid, and they can actually access it from the back. So this is a pretty good spot we have in here right now, just prior to delivery. Some of their short power water fill, all that fun stuff. I'm sure they can put that in the box, but they can decide what to do with it. This is a cool storage space that's accessible in your van from the outside of your van. This is a bench seat here, so we have all the custom upholstered cushions. This little notch is left here. You're going to use this as a handle to get in, because this handle is not usable anymore. So that's how you'll be entering the van. All right, once you're in the van, you have the upholstered cushions. All these cushions have a kind of an anti-slip on the bottom, so while you're driving, they're not going to be flying everywhere. We have this tapered back cushion, and this cushion as well. They're all 4 inches thick, so it's a nice lounge area. If you want this full width, this would just go right on the ground in the aisle space here. You have this lagoon mount, which can be used in quite a lot of spots. Beautiful camera lady there. Maddie can use it. I can use it. Someone's sitting there. There's 2 people sitting side by side. So this worked out really well. And this is also removable. I'm sure you guys all know what a lagoon mount is. Touching on some of the features just overall in the van. Ceilings, again, kind of our standard clear cedar ceilings. Love these. You got the strip lights only under the bed in this build, and the ceiling we went with pot lights, and you also have all the strip lights, again standard for under cabinets, and we decided to do toe kicks on one side of the van for mood lighting. Upholstery is the oatmeal marathon tweed. Everything is framed nice and finished. You're not going to get any fraying with this cedar. Countertop is actually bamboo. It's going to be a bit more durable than cedar, so for a countertop surface. And yeah, all the cabinetry in here are laid up paneling with a Baltic birch core. So everything's laminated and edge banded. So there is spots if we need to and do rounds. We'll leave exposed edges, but we do have an edge bander, so we like edge banding and color matching everything. Countertops are Corian. Some of the backsplash is textured FRP paneling. Lawn seal flooring, that's what we use. So that's pretty much our go-to when it comes to materials. Tried, true, tested. I'll start with the most obvious thing behind me. This is the Broad Arrow dual pane acrylic window. You got the built-in bug screen, built-in blinds, and you got the window that can open up awning style. So that's pretty cool. And again, we kind of frame in the window. Just looks way more aesthetically pleasing instead of having the white trim kind of on top of your walls, and everything is still removable and replaceable. All right, once you get over into the middle section of the van, I forgot to mention there's a wall outlet on the wall over there, which can be used when the bed's up or down. Show that. This area right here, instead of having a bench seat that can carry extra passengers, an actual chair, they decided to go with the construction of a bench seat, which this houses all your electrical and plenty of storage. Every one of these sections, they have a top opening lid if need be. There's a double stacked drawer system here, which is almost full depth. The batteries are behind that, and then there's a great big huge drawer right up toward the front of the van. And on this little face panel here and under here is your electrical, which is all easily accessible by a lift of a lid. And instead of having to remove this cushion, if you ever need to access breakers, solar breakers, your AC, your DC, and your on-off switch for the battery to shut down the main system, everything is accessible here. Everything's labeled, all your breakers, which is really cool. Right beside that, you have another outlet. You have our temperature, our fan, which is temperature controlled via Ruby sensors with the Victron system. And then you have if 653 watts on the roof wasn't enough, you have another auxiliary solar port here with a secondary charge controller. They can lay out some panels outside when they're parked up in the sun and get an additional 300 watts not on the roof, it would be outside. Quick little side note, we are currently so close to releasing our new website. We are behind multiple builds uploaded to that. There will be way more in-depth information, every single component, technical specs of all these builds in the website. Keep an eye on that. With that being said, normally it's at the end of the video, the electrical system in this thing, I've said it a million times, it's standard for what we use. It's a 900 amp hour electrical system using all Victron components, 3000 watt inverter, 50 amp Orion, your DC to DC charger. Everything runs off the Serbo, the Victron Touch 70, that is standard, and we integrate all of our water level sensors, our temperature sensors, and then it's a plus if clients have Starlink, Peplink, any sort of Wi-Fi, we can remotely check and every so often check in and see your multiple builds traveling across North America in various conditions, and can make sure your batteries are staying topped up, and when it's starting to freeze, your heater's on. And it's nice to be able to keep an eye on people. We can't see location wise, we can just see what your systems are doing. Alright, up in this section here, we made these accessible from the bed, whether you're sitting down or when you're in your bed. This is your 4-camera security system, 4 channels, front, back, rear, both sides, and your main home page there. That's going to continuously record, upload it to an SD card. You got your 4 main light switches, your 3 dimmables, your 1 non-dimmable. These are your main ceiling lights, your pot lights. When this bed is lowered, it's pot lights above as well. And then you have your 3 dimmable sections here. I won't play with those so the camera doesn't flicker. But you have your under cabinet lights, you have your toe kick lights, and under the bed lights, all individually controlled right here. You also have this kind of area is your niche, your little prep area. I think they'll put their cooktop here. But you have your temperature sensor. This is for your big Rixon's heating system. They have hydronic heated floors in this van, and the whole Rixon's hydronic heater, which runs using the S-Bar hydronic heater. So that's your hot water, all your air, and your heated floors. It's a really sweet system. Up top here is that Victron Touch 70 screen I was talking about. This is your control for your Happy Jack, and then right above that is your Rixon screen for your hot water and your hot air. And then in the top left corner there is your link, which turns on and off your your switch for your internet. And they have a WeBoost cell phone signal booster, so they both go on and off at the same time. We're throwing this in here. Totally forgot to show you the bed. Obviously, this is the Happy Jack system. It's a fully adjustable bed. You can raise this bed without moving anything if you wanted. The tallest point is this cushion. Ideally, you're going to bed, you're going to grab this back cushion here, just throw it on the floor. All of our cushions we use is custom upholstered with this umbrella fabric. The zippers on them, nice to wash, they don't stain, easy to clean. If you're going to be throwing your cushion on the ground, you want it to be easy to clean. And you come here, voila. Once the bed is down, it's a custom upholstered 6.5-inch mattress. You make a little notch here for the motor up above, and then it reveals the Max Air Fan 10-speed fan on the roof, which is quite nice. You're going to be using it 90% of the time when you're sleeping. And if you leave the bed lowered a bit, you might be thinking, well, the bed blocks the Max Air Fan. If you lower the bed a few inches, put it on suction mode, crack a window, that creates an amazing draft. And finally, just kind of above your head, you do have a his and her reading light with USBs that came with it. Thought it'd be cool. So you have your own individual reading light. All right, let's quickly touch on the kitchen. You have the nice Corian countertops we talked about, backsplash. We actually added a Bluetooth soundbar in here that's not going anywhere, which is a pretty sweet feature. You got your sink, big deep sink, your water faucet, drinking water faucet, got a little GFCI receptacle there, and then again, plenty of storage. Got a little pull-out pantry wine rack there. And then under here is quite nice because the gray water tank is underneath in the spare wheel well tire carrier, and water tanks are kept inside. Our gray water tank is underneath. It is on a electronic ball valve and a heating pad. So obviously we get some pretty harsh winters here. It has to be on a heating pad, which brings me over to this control panel here. This is pretty much everything to do with plumbing and your one shower light in the back. So you got your water pump, your gray water heating tank pad, and your electronic ball valve for dumping the gray tank. And then again, more just overhead storage, plenty of storage. You actually have a receptacle up in here, which is the soundbar's plugged into, but another spare spot up there. All right, going on to the floor to ceiling side of the kitchen. You got your little niche, again, mention that counter space, plenty of drawer space. 1, 2, 3, 4 drawers. There's that toe kick lighting. This vertical column here is the nice 4-in-1 Breville oven. You got, this is the ventilation. So in here is the compressor for the Slim 90 fridge. It's also breathing room for the Breville, and it's also easily accessible for 4 screws for a lot of this wiring. All of our lights have 12-volt stabilizers, so it stabilizes all of our lights at 13.8 volts up to 15 amps, so no flickering when running other big power draws and loads. Like I mentioned, Vitrifrigo fridge. This section here is a nice big closet space, essentially, with a hanger. Your nice stainless hanger there, so you can hang up your shirts, pants, all that fun stuff. You got another drawer here, another drawer, and then down below that is your adjustable ventilation for your Robson system. So that's where your heat is going to blow out. All right, we're going to open the back doors for better lighting. I'm stepping on into the shower, the bathroom, your garage, some other fun stuff, plumbing. All right, we're in the back of the van. I said I'll start with the bathroom. I'll start with the garage space. Here's your vertical garage storage. Little light there. The whole Robson's and plumbing system is under this panel, easily accessible. More ventilation. We got a receptacle here, and yeah, all that vertical garage space, which takes you into the shower bathroom. Before hopping on in there, this is their shower cabinet, their vanity, their bathroom vanity. You have your outdoor shower as well, hot and cold water. This is your gravity-fed water fill, and again, this is the temperature-controlled fan for their plumbing, because the majority of their plumbing components are also under this cabinet in here. All right, once you're in this shower area, it's all fiberglass walls. You have your little niche cubby here with your 3 shampoo, conditioner, body wash there. You have your Laveo dry flush toilet in here. There's a waterproof cover if you want to take a quick shower, use it as a seat. But for the most part, you'll be just taking it out, putting it in the aisle space if you want the full range of motion within the shower. You have the shower curtain on a track that slides around, hooks here to cover this. These two walls here are waterproof, so you don't have to worry about that. And then yeah, you have your bathroom vanity. I think I mentioned that briefly. All your plumbing is under there. And then you got your little sink here, hot and cold water as well. And then you have your little overhead vanity there. The built-in mirrors, custom cut for the faceplate. And there is your adjustable shower head. And then right above you is that Max Air fan, the little dome fan, little 6-inch fan there to suck out some of that steamy hot water within this van. And again, another roll-off screen at the back, and with the FRP panel doors at the rear, which we started doing because a lot of the times if it's rainy, your rear doors are open, you're not going to warp any of the panels you're using on your rear doors. They're fully waterproof. You'll see us use this material in a lot of spots where it's going to get wet. Yeah, one little feature too in all of our builds, every single seam around the floors, around all the countertops, we use a marine grade 3M silicone. So when you have spills, your cabinets aren't absorbing that water and warping. I hope we made this tour a bit shorter. We probably stumbled over a lot of things. New website's coming soon. Stay tuned for that, and there'll be all the specs, and we'll be posting this build on our Instagram over the next few weeks. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you want to find more information, again, vancityconversions.com. Reach out. We'll build you a custom build. Something else is in the works. All right, guys, I'll shut up. Peace out.